Napoleon said, "An army marches on its stomach." That adage is just as true today as it was when he spoke it. Only now we're an army of adventure race runners, weekend warriors, and people who work late. Many of those people are looking for an easily transportable snack that won't go bad without refrigeration. Such a snack is jerky. And jerky is also a very simple to make snack as long as you know the basic steps and considerations of slicing and selecting your meat, marinating the meat, and then drying it into jerky. With that framework, I'll start off with slicing and selecting your meat. Your meat can be any source of protein that you desire: pork, poultry, beef. One consideration, though, is making sure it's a lean piece of meat or something that you can trim to lean. The purpose for that is once you have fat on the jerky, it can become a point of spoilage or just a nasty spot because fat does not dehydrate. Another consideration with slicing your meat, as described by Kelly Foster, the assistant editor of The Kitchen, in an article in February of 2015, if you cut the meat across the grain, it will be more tender. But if you go with the grain, it will be tougher. Just something to think about when you're slicing your meat. Once you've decided how you want to slice your meat, recommended thicknesses are from 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. The purpose for this is that the thinner slices of meat can become brittle and crumbly once you turn it into jerky, and the thicker slice of meat will have issues drying out properly. Now that you've sliced your meat, the next section that you're going to do is marinate it. Marinating does two things. First, it imparts a flavor onto the meat, your personal flavor. You can choose whatever you want: smoky, sweet, spicy, anything. It's up to you. The second thing it does is it helps it cure. Now, according to the USDA website on Food Safety Inspection Services, they posted information on jerky specifically in August of 2013, stating that the process must be fast enough to dry the food before it spoils, and it must remove enough water to prevent microorganisms from growing. Not surprisingly enough, soy sauce or pink salt are often included in jerky recipes. Both of these contain ample amounts of sodium, which helps to draw moisture out of the meat, which will help it evaporate quicker when you're drying. Sodium also helps stave off microorganisms, bacteria, funguses from growing on your meat. Things to consider are you don't want your meat to be marinating without or in contact with air. Something that many people do is they'll put their meat into a zip bag and then cover it with their marinade. A good ratio of meat to marinade is 1 pound to about a cup of marinade. But if you don't have enough, you can dilute it with beer or water or wine, whatever you desire. And then you don't have to worry about watering down the taste because once it evaporates, the flavor will be concentrated into the meat. Now, with the meat marinated, it's time to dry. First thing you're going to do is drain the meat and discard any extra marinade you have. You don't want to keep it around or try to reuse it. You can get sick. Then you're going to take a few paper towels and dry the meat because you're going to already dry it. You don't want to have excess moisture to make that process more difficult. Now you're going to choose a drying method. There are three generally used drying methods. One, a very popular one, is to purchase a dehydrator and follow the manufacturer's recommendations on how to use it. Another one, as explained by Chef Alton Brown in a 2005 recipe on foodnetwork.com, uses a box fan and several air filters, during which you lay out the meat on the air filters and then you cover the final one with an empty air filter, bungee cord it on the box fan, turn it on to about medium or the second setting, and then let it blow dry your meat for 6 to 24 hours. You might have to do some rearranging of the meat screens, if you will, and just check them periodically until it's done. Another method that is commonly used is the open oven method, during which you take the meat and actually put it on the oven liners, or I'm sorry, the oven racks or a cooling rack, and then turn the oven on its lowest setting. You prop the door open with either a wooden spoon or a folded rag so that there's air able to get in the bottom and then escape out of the top, creating a convection effect, which will over time dry out your meat. Once that's done, if that's the method you choose, you want to let the meat cool before you try to grab it and break it and rip it off of the screens. In general, the meat, once it's dried properly, no matter which method you decide to use, will be storage ready, capable for 2 to maybe 3 months in an airtight container. So to recap, I shared with you the basic steps and considerations of making jerky, from slicing and selecting your meat, marinating the meat, and then finally drying, a few drying options. As fun as jerky may be to make, the best part is definitely eating and sharing it. Just don't go messing with Sasquatch.